Welcome back, everybody. We're going to go over to the big screen, do a bit more of a tactical breakdown, look at some of the important moments in this game. Let's start with Bayern Munich versus Arsenal. The Bayern Munich goal, Jamie.
Yeah, we're going to look at the goal from Arsenal's point of view, defensively, and mainly Martinelli on that left side. And we actually just highlighted him here. He actually goes initially with Leroy Sané, so he does his job. You just keep an eye on him. There's the goal scorer, Kimmich. He just switches off for a second here. He switches off. Great ball in from Guerrero on that side, and you see he knows in that position. We just highlight him. So he's done his job defensively. He's held the full-back, and he just comes out to shots here. You've got to talk about the quality as well. Guerrero was absolutely fantastic, and Kimmich just gets across him. You see it there, and this is what you're talking about, the fine details at this type of level, and when you get caught out, they're punished.
Jamie, can I play the devil's advocate, and can we show that goal again, please? Because if I'm the winger there, defending for Tomiyasu, can we show it again? You're going to see, obviously, Martinelli defending there on Leroy Sané. Can we go? Defend on Leroy Sané. I invite you to look at what Tomiyasu does. So Martinelli is going to defend, right? So you're doing his job right now. So you go all the way there. Now, please stay with Tomiyasu. What is Leroy Sané going to do there? You're looking at him in and about now. He can't score. Close the gap. He can't score.
So basically, he should still advance.
He can't score. He's dependent on him. What is he going to do? He's not even in the frame. This is where he was, Jamie. I know I'm going far. He was there. How is he going to score? And Tomiyasu is like this. Close the gap. Whoa! Oh. Oh, he fought. Oh, there's the camera moving. He fought.
I thought that was falling.
But I
thought I tipped it. Oh my God. Take us to Jude Bellingham, Thierry. I'll go make sure the screen's okay. Go get back to where you normally are. Oh my God.
This is unreal.
I thought it had gone. Oh my God.
Okay, Real Madrid in the semi-finals. You know what that means, Micah? What do they say? Full kit?
Oh, I can't say the word. You're really trying to get... You're still...
I'm joking, man. Are you going to be wearing full kit?
I'll wear the shirt, but it's got to do my celebration.
It was the full kit, wasn't it?
Yeah, full kit. We said full kit. Socks, the whole shebang. I think we should end the show with what was surely the Heineken moment of the day. Jamie Carragher and the imaginary falling screen. Let's take it on. We're about to run out of time, everybody.
And I'm looking
You might get some for Schmeichel, you know.
Welcome back. As we promised, we're going to go through the game that ended in regulation time in 90 minutes, Bayern versus Arsenal, which was the other quarter-final of this Champions League evening. Let's take you through the action. There was an opportunity here for Bayern to go ahead, hit the bar, though.
Yeah, that man, Goretzka, I've talked about him so many times before, making that run. It's a wonderful header, just comes off the bar there, and then Guerrero with a follow-up. Just a lovely little coast, you see there. It potentially could have went to Harry Kane, who would have been offside, and then the finish takes a little swipe off Saliba there. Warning signs. Jamie, Kimmich.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, they do really well. This cross here is absolutely fantastic. Guerrero and Kimmich. We just highlight him here now. And Kimmich is a player who actually wants to play in midfield, but he's been playing right back under Thomas Tuchel. He finds himself in an attacking position. Normally, you might find yourself in an attacking role from central midfield, but it's a bullet header. He just switches off at the back post, Martin. We look at it a little bit more closer in the next part, get into it. And then Musiala, I mean, for me, this guy's sensational. I think he's going to be a superstar. Look what he's doing at Champions League level quarter-finals. I mean, his ability to run past people, and it's a skill we don't see so often in the game now. A lot of the game now you see people play one touch, two touch, move the ball on quickly, but seeing somebody able to dribble at the highest level, it almost feels like a little bit of a throwback. And look at him, he goes again. He didn't end up getting a goal or an assist at the end of all this, but there was so much to admire from his game. And he was a real thorn in the side of of Arsenal. You see him going past Declan Rice. The first clip showed him going past Jorginho, and that's what you very rarely see. Players in central areas dribbling past their opposition.
Be interesting to hear from him, wouldn't it? Peter Schmeichel managed to speak to Jamal Musiala after the game. Let's listen in.
So, Jamal, congratulations, semi-final in the Champions League.
Thank you.
How good is that?
It's a great feeling. We as a club haven't been in a semi-final in a while, so it's a good feeling. We still have a long way to go, but we've made the right steps. Arsenal's a very good opponent, seen in the Premier League, and how well they've played throughout the season. That they're tough to beat, and to get the win now and go advance to the next round is good for all of us.
And you think about the Bundesliga season that you've had, how important is it for Bayern to make this step into the semi-finals?
Very important. Like everyone has seen, we haven't had the greatest season, especially in the Bundesliga. So we're trying to do everything in our powers to go as far as possible in the Champions League.
What did you think of the young man's performance?
It was outstanding. His capacity and ability to just bail you out of any problem. If you can't just pass the ball out from the back, he just takes it and beat one or two men. And that has nothing to do with your tactic. That's just him beating people and beating the line, so you can go up and play. He has that capacity. You know, we're not going to compare him to Eden Hazard, you know, the capacity to and our ability to, you know, to see. And I mean, his ability and me seeing what he was doing when I was a coach with Belgium, at times you just give the ball to Eden. Or if you give it to Musiala, he will bail you out in the way that he plays, especially when we all know at that moment that game was nobody wanted the ball. It was kind of weird. He wanted that ball at his age. He was turning, not being shy, asking for the ball, keeping people away with his body, the way he was controlling it and going forward with it. So, you know, that's second to none when you're in trouble in a game and everyone is kind of hiding, not wanting that ball.
What a scenario for Bayern manager Thomas Tuchel, by the way, departing at the end of the season, but into the Champions League semi-final. Peter Schmeichel also spoke to him after the game.
Congratulations, semi-final.
Thanks.
How did you see that today?
Oh, amazing feeling and amazing second half. I think the first half was more like a chess game. Nobody wanted to sacrifice any positions or any concede any disadvantage, so it was a bit stuck. And second half was excellent. We played with more personality, a bit more courage, a bit more fluid. And I think we deserved it. We had more chances, had big chances, and scored a good goal. And then we were fighting hard for it until the end.
How tough was it to play these two games against Arsenal?
Super tough. They are one of the very best. I really mean it. They have so many points in the last 2.5 years in Premier League. They do it consecutive. Now they have a little bit of a difficult spell with the last 3 matches. But overall, you watch their games. They're so fluid. You learn when you watch them. You have joy when you watch them. They get points from it. So it's the full package. And that's why it was very difficult.
It feels uncomfortable, doesn't it, that managerial situation?
Yes, and we could have had a situation last night that's the same, where two managers, Xavi of Barcelona, Thomas Tuchel of Bayern Munich, know they're leaving the club at the end of the season, being announced a few months ago, and one of them could, you know, certainly Thomas Tuchel now, could go on and win it again, because he has won it before. He's been in another final as well with PSG, and yeah. It's a really interesting situation because there's no doubt he's a top manager and he will be in another top job at some stage next season. But it just hasn't worked out for him at all at Bayern Munich in terms of, you know, the Bundesliga and going in there late last season. But what a way to go out.
Yeah, it would be. Peter Schmeichel also managed to speak to the opposing manager, to Mikel Arteta. Let's listen in.
Mikel, thank you very much for talking to us. Not what you wished for. How did you see that game?
Yeah, it's a very disappointed night for us at the end. Because we throw everything that we had, the margins for error in this competition are minimal. We gave 2 really bad goals away in the first leg, and that made it more difficult. And tonight we had moments of a lot of dominance. We have, especially in the first half, some really good moments. And at the end, yeah, we have to be very disciplined because the way we concede the goal as well is not good enough.
What do you think is missing from your side? You're obviously not scoring in this game, didn't score over the weekend. Is it the lack of a proper striker, or what do you think is the reason for that?
No, I don't think so, because we've been the team that scored more goals in the Premier League. And you're talking about like this. So
from everywhere?
from everywhere, and we have to, because the reality is we don't have a striker that's going to score 35 or 40 goals, and we have to live with that, and we have many other qualities, and today is a day to stick behind the players, because they have given us so much, they have taken us in this journey, and we have still the Premier League to play.
What do you think is missing for Arsenal?
Well, putting the ball in the back of the net, but today there wasn't a lot of chances to do that. I do think that the two goals at home were soft to concede, and we all know if you do those mistakes in a Champions League, you're gonna pay the price. Today wasn't good enough, I would say, but I don't think it was much into the game. You could see that the two teams, and I mentioned it so many times, didn't want to lose the game. Like, they were not really going for it. It was a moment of, I would say, of bad defending for me, not only from Martinelli, because it did work at the beginning on one. I will put Tomiyasu also in that, not covering his centre-back and closing that line, but that's a different ball game. I just think that at one point, I said it before, you asked me so many times, as an Arsenal fan, do I think that Arsenal could win the Champions League? Yes, because that's hope and wishing. Do I think after that we could, if I take my Arsenal hat away from my head? I said it so many times, when we play 3 games a week, we struggle. And so maybe it can be a good thing now that we are out for us in the Premier League. But like I said, are we equipped to play every 3 days?
So what you're saying, you need more players? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that throughout the last 2 years, we always went on a good run, when we didn't have midweek games.
I think the 2 games tonight shows exactly what we all say here every year about the Champions League is not just about ability, it's about a mentality as well, and a belief that you can do it. I don't believe that Bayern Munich are a better team than Arsenal. Madrid are better than Manchester City, but we are talking about a team who have never won the Champions League in Arsenal. And we're talking about Manchester City, who've won it once. Real Madrid have won it 14 times. Bayern Munich are on, I don't know exactly, 6 or 7. They just feel like they're supposed to win European Cups. You know, I don't think Arsenal actually went into this tie believing they could get through. I always believed.
For you, disappointment, pride in your side?
Well, at the moment, it's a really gutted dressing room, very disappointed. I cannot find the right words to leave them. I wish I had. We have to go through it. We tried against a team that has a lot of experience, and yeah, through the tie, I think the margins have been very small. The moments that we've been better, we give them 2 goals in a tie. That's a big advantage to give away. And today you could see that it was a margin of error, 0. We made a mistake defending the box, big one, and we conceded the goal. And then it was difficult. We tried in many different ways, but it's difficult, and it's the moment to stay next to the players, give them support and stick to them, because they are the ones that have taken us in this journey.
Yeah, you made the substitutions, you threw everything at it at the end. Did it just miss that magic moment that sometimes a game like this needs?
It has to be, or a mistake of them, or a magic moment. Normally is what unlocks this tie, and the first one, we didn't manage to win it at the end, and we could have done. I think we were better than them, and today we have a lot of moments of dominance, but that spark around the box is what you need in these ties to victory.
The progression that this side is on, though, this is the first season back in the Champions League. When the dust has settled, can you turn this around and use it as the beginning, not the end of the Champions League?
Well, that's for sure. Obviously, the club has been without playing Champions League for 7 years, and you wanted to play in the first year, and you want to be in the semi-finals or the final. Now, we all wanted that so badly, but you can see in many other clubs that it takes them sometimes 6-7 years to get to that stage. But we were very close. That's the reality.
You're also very close to the Premier League still. So now, how do you make sure that those heads don't drop and you finish the season as strongly as you can?
Because what we have to play is beautiful. 6 games to go. We are 2 points behind City, and a very difficult schedule for everybody. And we have to go through the pain tonight, and tomorrow get up and come with the same attitude that we came here, and hopefully beat Wolves.
Thanks, Mikel. Thanks for talking to us.
Mikel Arteta speaking to Becky there. There is still so much to play for this Arsenal side. It was interesting at the start of the interview when Mikel said that, you know, he can't find the right words to say to the players in the dressing room at the moment, so distraught they all are at this stage. Does that sort of tell you the story of where this team are? Because this is also his first big job in management, as well as managing a very young team.
Well, especially when you come up against a side like Bayern Munich that have so much experience. You know, Thomas Tuchel's been in finals. He's won the Champions League. You know, you think about, you know, Neuer and Kimmich and Sané, you know, Kane, you know, there's so much experience, Goretzka, in that Bayern Munich side. Arsenal are a brilliant team, but they're young. You know, the best players are all 22, 23, 24. And Mikel is an exceptional, but he's a young manager. And, you know, you look at PSG, it takes time to learn how to win in the Champions League. They're back into the Champions League, rightly so, because they're a brilliant side. But they're just going to have to take that next step to win a Premier League, to do well in these knockouts in the Champions League. So they're really close, but I think they're on this journey together, and they need a bit more experience. Whether it's,
I agree.
You know, I think they need more players on the pitch to help them.
Yeah, I think that experience. I mean, look, I played in the team that won the double, 97-98, full of World Cup winners, and it was about you know, you have to do the miles, you have to earn and learn the experience in the Championship. Very cruel competition, and we went out on our backsides really early. This is a young team developing. And we'd won a double, as I say, they've not really won anything. So it's very difficult for them to bridge that gap tonight against a Bayern Munich team that's been here like many times before, 13 times, and they've reached a semi-final, 14 now. So it's a bit ahead of Arsenal, but I don't think Arteta can be questioned. He is doing a very good job there, just 2 points behind Man City, and we know what they're doing across Europe. So I think he's disappointed, and it is, yes, about finding those players in the future that can play in the Champions League with the experience that we need. And of course they're gathering experience now, aren't they? But still, you need just to fill that team with pockets of real good experience and winners for the future. Yeah, I mean, look, they pushed Bayern all the way in that first leg, didn't they? They arrived at the Allianz on a level footing. But, you know, towards the end, do you think that was where the decision-making really told? They did have a late push, but they just didn't make the right decisions at the time. Yeah, I mean, I thought the first half was very even. You know, I thought Bayern started the game with the better side. Arsenal were better towards the end of the first half. But, you know, they were pushing towards the end, but they were pushing because they had to. You know, this is the moment we're talking about, isn't it? Where we wonder, you know, if he could do it again, Saka, would he change what he did there? And then the ball coming in, you've got all the big guys up, and you're looking for a really good ball there. Arsenal 19 goals so far from set plays, so you know they've got it in there. But it relies on the delivery, and it wasn't there tonight. Yeah, but I think it was they're all brilliant young players, but, you know, they all had a quiet day. Havertz, Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli. They didn't really get the space that they're accustomed to maybe in the Premier League. But I think it's a learning curve for them. You know, they'll learn from it. It's hard to win in these knockout ties. I think they will have seen that. But they still got the Premier League to play for, you know, and I still think there's loads to go in the Premier League as well. I think teams are going to drop points, but they need to be prepared to pounce when the chance comes. Yeah, well, this is it, because when you have the fine margins that you do in European competitions, you have to take your chances. And Arsenal had a gilt-edged one, really, through Martinelli when it was still 0-0. Yeah, to be fair, I think it's a brilliant chance. You know, he has a feel, right, I'm going to sit on the edge of the box, this might come to me. And I just think he picks the wrong foot to take it with. He's got to just take it with his right. You know, I think if he takes it with his right on the volley, I think he breaks the back of the net. But he decides to go with his left. Maybe it comes a bit quick. He thinks he can't get there with his right. But I thought that was a massive chance. It is, and it's moments again, isn't it? And making sure that you're playing in the moment, you're waiting for that opportunity, and you're setting your feet out. And it seemed to flash at him, and he hit it quickly off his left foot, which is a really difficult finish for him to achieve there. Well, this is how the semi-final is looking at the moment. Let's take a look at the road to London then, because we do know that there is one semi-final already decided. That was last night. It is Borussia Dortmund taking on PSG. And then, of course, Bayern Munich have booked their place, but they will be up against either the 14-time winners Real Madrid or the current champions Manchester City. That one is still level, so who knows, that one might go all the way to penalties. Drama at the Etihad then. Who will Bayern Munich want to face, though? To be fair, I don't think anybody would have anticipated, you know, Dortmund, PSG, two German teams in the semi-finals, and whoever they play, you know, they're going to be underdogs, because Manchester City and Real Madrid are a stronger side. But we've seen, you know, moments count in the Champions League, and so far Dortmund had a brilliant day yesterday. Bayern were the better side today. But I think whoever plays Man City and Real Madrid, you know, they're going to be favourites to win this competition. OK, it's almost at the end of extra time. The first half in the other
game. So make sure you do go over to TNT Sports 1 to see how that one finishes. It's going to be a thrilling one, isn't it? Over there at the Etihad, either Real Madrid or Manchester City being knocked out at the quarterfinals of this competition. Who would have thought it? But it is a night where Arsenal have been knocked out of the competition. One English side out. We really hope the other one does stay. Martin, Owen, it's been a pleasure to have your company, as it always is. As I say, go over to TNT Sports 1, see how that one pans out. The highlight show, Road to London, will follow that over on TNT Sports 1 as well. And we will see you for the semi-finals. Good night. Heartbreak also for Martin Keown. I mean, look, it's so near, yet so far. How will those players be feeling now?
Well, hugely disappointed, you know, and it comes down to fine margins, decision-making on the pitch. Only one goal between the two teams. But I just feel that Arsenal never really gave a proper account of themselves. And it's just when it matters most, we don't seem to be able to deliver. So it's one of those, you have to pick it up. You know, all the players are hurting, but you have to use that almost as oxygen for the remainder of the season. You know, you have to get up again. It's a huge disappointment for the fans, supporters. Just feel that, you know, you just want the players to perform to their maximum. Tonight just didn't happen for them.
It's a learning curve, though, isn't it, for this Arsenal side? This is a team under Mikel Arteta that has improved year on year. This is all part of the journey, isn't it, surely?
Yeah, I think incredibly young team. And I think that they're only going one direction, and that's up. And I think they're probably, you know, they're close to competing for big things, you know, for the Premier League and for the Champions League. But I think they need a little bit more experience in the side. Just some experienced players in those moments, like today, and like in London when they played against Bayern, and even the Villa game. Another example, that the second goal that they concede. You know, if you don't concede the second, maybe you can make it 1-1, and that's an amazing point. So I think this Arsenal team is in a brilliant position. There's no shame in losing to Bayern Munich, but
of course
they need. It feels like even at the end of the game, it feels like they need maybe a different option. You know, a centre forward that you can, a bigger centre forward, you can put the ball in the box, and maybe even nick a goal. It doesn't have to be pretty, but I do think that they've done brilliant, Arsenal. But today, we didn't see the best of Arsenal, and I think that will probably be the only disappointing thing, because they're so close, Arsenal, but they need to make that final step. It's hard. We've seen it, PSG. We've seen it's really hard in the Champions League, but they're getting close. And I just think they need to do something in the summer just to add to that.
Is it personnel or mentality? Or is it a case of building two at the same time?
I think mentality in those moments. You just saw that little bit of lack of experience, not being in that moment too many times when you just, there needs to be a bit more urgency in the closing exchanges. Perhaps Saka taking that free kick really early. Kim was distraught, give the free kick away, knows it's a difficult position. Saka made that moment, that decision in the moment. I admire that as well, but I think he might have been better just taking that delivery, and it might have been a wonder goal from the free kick. So all of these things cost you, but you wanted to see the ball going in the box, and it didn't seem to be there. That urgency wasn't there, and I think that's a lack of experience being in those sort of major games and knowing what to do at critical moments.
Getting closer?
They're a lot closer. They're one of the best teams, you know, in the Premier League. They're one of the best teams in Europe. So they are close, but making that last step is the hardest part. But I think Mikel and Edu, they know it. I think they just need a bit more experience inside to help them in some of those moments when it's tricky.
OK, well, let's get some reaction out there. In Munich, Harry Kane is, of course, through to the semi-finals of the Champions League. He's been speaking to Becky Ives.
Harry, just how big of a win was that tonight? Your smile says it all.
Yeah, unbelievable win. You know, it's been a tough season for us. We've had to fight and really grind at times, and today was that. You know, we knew it was going to be a tough game. We knew at home we could make the difference with our fans there, and yeah, it was what we expected. A tough game, a tight game. Great goal from Josh to make the difference for us, and then it was about defending and keeping that clean sheet. So yeah, to reach the semi-final is a great achievement for us, and we can enjoy this one.
Well, it was tight in the first half, but in the second half, what was said at half-time? Did it feel like the game was there for the taking? You just had to go out and grab it?
I think so. I think always in these type of games, you know, maybe the first half is a little bit cagey. Both teams don't really want to concede early. So we said at half-time just to up the tempo, up the pressing, be better with the ball, and that's what we've done. We created a lot more chances. We had a couple off the post. Even towards the end there, we probably could have finished it off and made it a bit easier on ourselves. But yeah, overall, you know, these games are tough, and you just have to find a way to get through them.
You seem to have been a completely different team when it comes to the Champions League compared to the league. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I said before, you know, it's something that we have to improve on. I think the expectation here is obviously to try and win the Champions League. We won the league for, I think it was 11 seasons in a row, so maybe there was just a little bit of tempo that we was missing in the Bundesliga compared to the Champions League. But that can't happen, obviously, next season when we start the season again. So for us now, we have to, you know, just enjoy this, enjoy the Champions League. It's going to be a tough game in the semi-final, whoever we play against. So we just have to recover, try and get ready for Saturday, and then look forward to that one.
Yeah, they're still playing. Do you want to hop this interview and go and see if you can catch the end?
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Harry.
Cheers.
Obviously, the subplot, wasn't there, of Harry Kane being in the team that knocks Arsenal out of the Champions League. I think from his point of view, is far too professional to be caught up in that narrative, because for Harry Kane, this is huge. This is the reason why he went to Bayern Munich, to be in contention, to win the biggest prizes. The Bundesliga went, the German Super Cup went, so this is a huge opportunity for Bayern, Owen.
Look, this is the hardest trophy to win of them all, you know, so he'll be dreaming. You know, tonight is a huge night for Bayern Munich. They've had a difficult season. Leverkusen obviously deserved champions, but they can still win the Champions League, which is an amazing trophy. So obviously they've got some personnel to come back. Gnabry, Coleman, Alphonso Davies was suspended today. But they found a bit of form in the Champions League, and they have the experience of being here. So does Thomas Tuchel as well. So you never know. Doesn't look likely, but you never know.
You never know in this competition. I mean, look, the other game's still going on. Real Madrid and Manchester City. Yeah, and that is what's on the table.
Magnificent teams. It's hard to call. But one thing is Harry is, you know, you can't question his performance. Maybe a bit quiet tonight. I thought, in London, I thought he was, you know, maybe there's a difference between the two teams. The way that he was able to play against our central defenders, who've been magnificent all season, and he gave them a much more difficult game than Haaland did this season. So, no, I think Harry's playing a major part for the success at that club, although they've not won the league there, so it's a huge disappointment. Everything else is a bonus for them, though.
Yeah, and it would certainly be a bonus to be able to reach that Champions League final, and for Harry Kane to be able to come to Wembley for that as well. But, of course, that is still to come. Do you think they can do it?
They can definitely do it. You know, they've got the experience, and you know they had the decisive moment in the game. There wasn't much in the game, in terms of possession and shots, but obviously they got the decisive moment of the game. And we're used to Harry Kane getting the goal, but actually it was a beautifully worked goal.
Yeah.
All the way from kind of the goalkeeper.
Incredible.
And to be fair, they play some really good stuff. And I mean this is it, all the way from the keeper. Look, Neuer, you know, and this is what they want to do. They want to try and play between the lines. It takes a bit of bravery. Lima takes it brilliant there. And then they have a little bit of patience, you know, it's not on, so we keep it, keep it. And it requires, a lot of patience. And I really like the fact that you're just waiting for the right moment to pick a pass. And that's where you want Sané. Get him into those little situations there. Okay, the first one doesn't come off. But Guerrero, there's no pressure on the ball. He just puts it into an area. And Kimmich attacks it. It's a brilliant goal all the way from the goalkeeper. But I think for Arsenal's perspective, they'll be disappointed in the fact that there's things they probably could have tidied up there.
I think Ben White's got to sprint out there. He's got to get out as quick as he can, make that more hurried. And then it's between these three. And I'm looking at this and thinking perhaps Tomiyasu, they say lead the furthest man, tuck in, try and deal with it. And he's on his heels a little bit. It's a fantastic ball in, but if he's on the move for that Kimmich, then there should be an Arsenal player reacting to that, and in the end, he makes it look easy.
And one thing I would say is it's easier for Kimmich because he can actually see the goal and he can see the ball. As a player, I think it's Declan Rice. All the players they're watching the ball. It's normal. You watch it.
I'm Derek Ray. I'm joined for commentary by former Arsenal fullback Lee Dixon, and without doubt a match with the potential to bring genuine excitement. It's Luton Town taking on Chelsea.
Hi Derek, thank you. Well, both managers will be reminding their players how important...
Well, it could be on for him here. Is it going to be? Keeper getting the touch. And it's gone behind for the corner. Over it comes. Well, did his job defensively. And they'll get ready for the throw-in. Pearson. So after that, a goal kick it'll be. Well, pick your adjective where Hakim Ziyech is concerned. Explosive, I think, might be an approach. Can they take the lead here? And mistimed the run, sadly. That's offside. Throw-ins given. This looks promising.
Well, it's the care and attention, all that works.
And a blunder by the keeper. Werner. Promising attack, but his timing was off. Well, they've lost possession of the ball. Nicely cut out. Oh, that's an interesting pass. Ziyech. In it goes. An early goal. No wonder they're celebrating.
Well, as we look at this again, the keeper's every right to ask where his back line was, but 2v1 in the end. He's thinking now, is he going to pass or go round me? He's got no chance.
Well, real difficulty keeping the ball. Ball's gone.